Greetings, seekers of truth, and a warm welcome to the Morale. Today, we are going to explore the profound insights of the book Do Less, Be More by Josh Busacker. In our modern times, staying busy has become a kind of badge of honor. People seem to think that the more they show themselves as busy, the more successful they will be considered. Think about it. If you ask someone, "How are you?" the answer is often, "Just busy, man, very busy." It seems as if greatness is somehow hidden in the act of being busy. But the author, Josh Busacker, catches this very point and explains that this busyness is actually a trap, a snare. We get stuck in it due to various expectations, societal pressures, and the endless game of comparison. This trap begins when a person starts thinking that if they work continuously, if they have absolutely no free time, if they appear occupied all the time, only then will people consider them important. Gradually, we condition ourselves in such a way that we even feel guilt while resting. As soon as we get 10 minutes free, panic sets in. We feel we should do something, otherwise time will be wasted. And this very psychology traps us even deeper, because we start thinking that being busy itself is a purposeful life. But Busacker explains that the real truth is the exact opposite. Being busy doesn't mean you are productive, inspired, or living a meaningful life. Many people appear very busy on the outside, but are internally completely exhausted, lost, and disconnected. They keep driving themselves hard, but can't even understand where they are going. It is like someone driving fast in traffic, honking their horn, but not knowing their destination. Many people live their lives in this mode: high speed, low purpose. In modern life, competition has increased so much that people, running after their work, routines, and schedules, become distant from themselves. Social media also deepens this trap. Everyone there shows that they are very busy. Meetings, travel, projects, the hustle, the grind, everything is highlighted. This makes others feel that if I'm not that busy, then perhaps I am behind. And then, comparing themselves, they start overworking themselves even more. This comparison creates an invisible pressure in our minds that we too must be achieving something all the time. But in reality, being busy is often a way to avoid uncomfortable emotions. Emotions like loneliness, confusion, insecurity, or a lack of purpose. Many people stay busy so they don't get a chance to think about themselves. If they stop, they might see the emptiness of their life. So they push themselves so hard into work that they don't have to face the inner questions. Am I in the right direction? Am I truly happy? Being busy becomes a kind of escape. Busacker says that busyness often turns us into human doings, whereas we are meant to be human beings. Chasing after doing, we forget being. We forget that the essence of life is not just completing a to-do list, but feeling meaningful moments. We don't notice our children's laughter. We forget the warmth of our family. We lose our own creativity and curiosity. We fill ourselves with so many tasks that life becomes just a game of checkboxes. And the most dangerous thing is that being busy makes us feel we are productive, but in reality, we are just distracted. Imagine having many apps open on a mobile phone. The phone is working, but it has become slow. Our brain also becomes similarly slow due to multitasking and non-stop busyness. We lose clarity, decision-making weakens, and gradually, energy starts leaking. Every day feels like we achieved something, but a hollow emptiness remains inside. Another big disadvantage of this busyness is disconnection. Disconnection from oneself and from one's relationships. When a person traps themselves in non-stop work, they have no space left to think, to feel, and to connect genuinely. They sit with family, but their mind is occupied with all the pending tasks. They meet friends, but their attention remains on the phone and email. And there's absolutely no opportunity to talk to oneself. Gradually, relationships weaken and the person starts feeling lonely, even when surrounded by people. Busacker also explains that being busy is the easiest way to lose one's actual purpose. When a person just keeps working, they forget why they are doing it. Their life goes into an autopilot mode. like a machine that turns on every morning and turns off at night, just performing tasks in between. A purposeful life has clarity, balance, and joy. But due to busyness, all this slowly starts fading because energy is spent only on surviving work, not on growing. A person becomes so busy proving themselves that they forget to evolve. The habit of being busy creates another major problem: deep fatigue. This is far more dangerous than physical tiredness. It is mental and emotional exhaustion. It feels as if the brain is no longer absorbing anything. Decisions feel heavy, creativity shuts down, small things become irritating, and self-confidence starts decreasing. When a person is constantly busy, their nervous system gets stuck in fight or flight mode, meaning the body remains in stress all the time. And when stress becomes chronic, even the small joys of life are not felt. Drinking coffee, listening to music, traveling, none of these bring us much happiness because the mind is already overloaded. Busker explains that modern society has glamorized being busy so much that people consider rest a luxury. Whereas rest is not a luxury, it is a human need. Just as it's necessary to charge a mobile battery, similarly, it's essential for a human to take a pause. But we feel guilty that if we are resting, perhaps we are weak. It's no surprise that burnout has become a normal thing. People push themselves so much that one day they suddenly feel that they can't force themselves anymore, that enthusiasm doesn't come anymore. And this is the moment of burnout when both body and mind give signals that they are done. Busker suggests the first way out of this trap: awareness. We need to observe ourselves. Are we busy because the work is important, or because we want to prove ourselves, or because we are running from uncomfortable emotions? After awareness comes the next step: intentionality, meaning designing your days with purpose. Ask every morning, what truly matters today, and then go after that. Try to be present instead of being busy. Make decisions based on the clarity of the heart, not the speed of the clock. He says the purpose of life is not just to achieve something every day, but to feel our moments completely. Simple activities like drinking tea, going for a walk, genuinely listening to someone, these ground us again. They show that life is not just about big achievements, but a collection of small experiences. And these very experiences make us feel alive. The real cure for busyness is the pause, a small stop. A pause is like a reset button. It reminds us that we are not machines, we are humans. Pause gives clarity about which work actually has value and what is just noise. And when a person moves with clarity, they can live a more meaningful life even by doing less work. Finally, Busker teaches that being busy is not an achievement, but the easiest way to lose purpose. The busier we become, the less we can feel ourselves and our lives. Real success comes when we can balance both work and meaning, when we are not just running, but living. Because a beautiful life is made not by pace, but by presence. Now, let's talk about the concept of balance. The talk of balance in life is always there, but to tell you the truth, most people misunderstand the very meaning of balance. They think balance means giving equal time to everything: work, family, self, hobbies, meaning dividing everything perfectly into 25%. But Busker clearly states that life balance never means equal distribution of time, but the right alignment of priorities. Real balance comes when you start living by connecting your daily activities to your real priorities. Imagine you have a big table with several jars on it: family, work, health, dreams, spirituality, relationships, fun. And you are trying to pour equal water into every jar. What will be the difficulty? Either the water will fall short or your time. As simple as that. Therefore, Busker says that balance is a concept that is only possible in practical life when you yourself decide which jar truly matters to you and which jar is there only because of others' expectations. The real foundation of life balance is understanding priorities. But the problem is that we don't think about priorities. We don't feel them. We just follow the same pattern every day: morning rush, work pressure, notifications, responsibilities, evening distractions, and then exhaustion. In this loop, a person forgets to even think why I am doing all this and whether this work is meaningful for me. Busker says if you want balance in life, you first need this clarity. What matters the most? And this clarity doesn't come from others' words. It comes from looking within yourself. The first step to rediscovering balance is asking yourself honest questions. Like, which tasks give me energy? Which activities drain me? Which relationships uplift me? And which make me feel heavy? Which part of my day is the most meaningful? What do I get excited to wake up for? These questions seem simple, but when did we last answer them? Perhaps years have passed. And this is the reason life feels imbalanced. A person feels imbalanced when they are doing many tasks in their day that don't match their sole priorities. The second part of rediscovering balance is aligned choices. Often, life balance isn't a big thing. It's just the result of small decisions, like skipping an unnecessary meeting, creating distance from a draining relationship, giving yourself 30 minutes of no screen time in the evening, just resting on the weekend and not feeling guilty. Balance doesn't always demand a big change. It is built through slow adjustments. But the problem is that we have become yes machines. We say yes to everything. Office work, events, favors, commitments. Even when the mind is screaming from inside, "Say no, man," we consider saying no as selfishness. Whereas Busker says that when you say yes to everything, you are actually saying no to your priorities. The real courage in rediscovering balance lies in saying no. No to draining habits, no to toxic people, no to expectations that aren't yours, no to projects that pull you, not push you. And this no is not the work of weak people, it's the work of strong people. Because the easiest thing in this world is to say yes to everything. But the hardest thing is to say no in the right place so that your energy can be invested in the right place. The author explains that life balance is the science of managing the flow of energy. Everyone has the same amount of time, 24 hours, but everyone's energy is different. Therefore, just managing time doesn't change anything. Until you align your energy system, balance cannot come into your life. Some people work 10 hours and still feel fresh because that work is aligned with their priorities, whereas some people feel drained even after working 3 hours because that work is not connected to their values. The real meaning of rediscovering balance is to protect your energy and invest it only in those places from which you get growth, meaning, and satisfaction. Busker says that when a person lives according to their priorities, they feel a natural balance in life, even if they are very busy. And when they live against their priorities, they feel imbalance, even if they have lots of free time. Therefore, the equation of balance depends not on time, but on alignment. To rediscover balance, the author suggests a simple approach. Pause, reflect, realign. Pause means giving yourself permission to stop. A small break, a deep breath, a short walk, a full night's sleep without guilt. Pause grounds us again and reminds us that we are not machines, we are humans. Reflect means observing your day and your activities. Which activities are meaningful? Which are mandatory? Which are just habit and which are completely unnecessary? Sometimes a person carries non-deletable things just out of habit. Reflection gives clarity about what to keep and what to let go. Realign means matching your choices with your real priorities. This means making decisions that give you inner peace, outer progress, and long-term fulfillment. This means designing your daily day so that it has less fatigue and more meaning. The author says that a sense of alignment brings a kind of peace, a peace that is not shaken by the speed of the external world. When your activities and your purpose move in the same direction, stability is created within. Rediscovering balance is not about being perfect. It's a journey, not a destination. Every day requires a little alignment, a little clarity, a little courage. Sometimes we make wrong decisions. Sometimes we overcommit. Sometimes we forget our priorities. But that's okay. Life is not a straight line. It's a flow. And when you learn to accept life as a flow, then balance starts coming on its own. The most powerful realization in this journey is that balance doesn't come from an external schedule, but from an internal harmony. When you have peace inside, the external chaos doesn't disturb you. And this internal peace is only possible when you make decisions aligned with your values. Otherwise, there is always a friction, a sting inside. Rediscovering balance means creating space for yourself, for the mind, for the heart, for the body. It means giving yourself permission to slow down without guilt. It means choosing quality over quantity. It means choosing purpose over pressure. It means choosing alignment over approval. And most importantly, rediscovering balance means being present for yourself. When a person becomes present for themselves, then they feel clarity, calmness, and confidence in everything. Because then they live life not as a hustle, but as a meaningful journey. Finally, Busacker's philosophy is very simple but powerful. Balance in life comes when you do the work that is truly important to you, and when you boldly say no to everything that drains your energy. Balance is an art, and this art blossoms only when you accept your priorities, respect them, and design your life accordingly. Now, let's discuss presence. In today's world, the rarest thing, if there is any, is presence, meaning being completely in this moment. Busacker says that presence is not a technique, but a gift that every human can develop, but very few people consciously practice it. In the modern world, distractions have increased so much that our mind cannot stay in one place. We are physically somewhere, mentally somewhere else. And this very disconnect creates distance from our life, from relationships, and from ourselves. Therefore, the author says that presence is a healing power, a connection tool, and the foundation of a meaningful life. The meaning of presence is simple: being where you are with full attention. But forming this simple relationship has become the most difficult. For example, we are sitting with family but checking our phone. We are in a meeting but our mind goes to future tasks. We are with friends for coffee but feel like scrolling Instagram. We are eating food but don't even taste it because the mind is running elsewhere. This is the effect of modern distraction. We are in every moment but are never fully there. Busacker says that today, a person's biggest problem is not that they don't have time, but that their attention is scattered. The mind is so filled with so many things that it doesn't feel empty for a single moment. Constant notifications, messages, calls, social media, information overload, all these make our mind restless. And when the mind is restless, a person loses presence. Presence is a power that brings us back to reality. Reality where we can feel, hear, see, connect. Presence is the deepest experience of life, because life happens only in this moment. The past is memories, the future is possibilities, but actual life is only in this moment. And yet, we miss this moment. Busacker says that presence is a gift because it allows us to taste the real flavor of life's small things, like the morning air, someone's laughter, the smell of tea, a child's words, the peace of the evening, the sound of rain. All these things were always in our life, but we stopped feeling them because our mind stays in fast-forward mode. Presence is a counterattack against the distraction culture. Distractions force us to keep running. Presence gives us permission to stop. Distractions make the mind shallow. Presence makes it deep. Distractions make us anxious. Presence grounds us. The most beautiful aspect of presence is that it transforms our relationships. When you listen to someone completely, without looking at the phone, without interrupting, without preparing a reply in your mind, that person feels that they matter. Presence creates a sense of value in people. When husband-wife genuinely listen to each other, misunderstandings reduce. When parents listen to their children attentively, children open up and talk. When there is presence between friends, the connection deepens. Many times, people don't remember what you said, but they always remember how you made them feel. Presence makes others feel valued, and this is a priceless gift. Busacker says that presence is essential not just for others, but for oneself as well. When a person is present with themselves, they understand their own emotions, fears, desires, and truth. Presence reconnects us with ourselves. Many people achieve outside success but feel empty inside because they never gave themselves time to sit with themselves. Presence is the first step of self-awareness. To develop presence, the author suggests some powerful mind habits. The first habit is slow down. Slowing down life is not wrong. It is grounding. Living at a speed where we can feel everything, notice everything. When we slow down, our mind becomes calm, and when the mind is calm, only then is presence possible. The second habit is single tasking. People consider multitasking a greatness, but the truth is that multitasking makes the mind shallow. When we do one task at a time, with full attention, not only is the work good, but we also feel connected to that work. This connection is presence. The third habit is breathing awareness. Paying attention to the breath is an instant method to come into the present, because breath always happens in the now. When the mind runs away, just take 2 deep breaths and you will instantly feel grounded. The fourth habit is digital boundaries. The mobile phone is the biggest thief of attention today. Presence is impossible until we control our digital life. This doesn't mean running away from social media, but it means being intentional about it. Like setting specific times, turning off notifications, and not keeping your phone in your hand all the time. When the phone comes under control, the mind comes under control. The fifth habit is micro-pauses. You can take small pauses of 5 to 10 seconds, 30 to 40 times a day. These pauses reset the mind. Like a pause before eating, a pause before starting the car, a pause before a meeting begins, a pause before replying to a message. These small pauses are the training ground for presence. Gradually, these pauses make your thinking calm and conscious. Presence seems like a small thing, but has the capacity to change life. When you are present, your experience deepens. Work feels meaningful. Food tastes delicious. Conversation feels soulful. A walk feels peaceful. Life feels simple and beautiful. Presence also improves your productivity, because when you are fully engaged, work happens with speed and clarity. Presence also unlocks creativity. When the mind is distracted, creativity dries up. But presence opens the mind. New ideas start flowing. All the creative minds of the world agree that both clarity and creativity are born in the lap of presence. Presence also reduces fear. Anxiety always comes from the future. Regret always comes from the past. But when you are in the present, the power of both diminishes. You feel stable, you feel secure, you feel grounded. The author's message is simple. Presence is the name of being present, not being perfect. The mind will sometimes go to the future, sometimes to the past. This is normal. The goal is not that the mind never gets distracted. The goal is that when the mind gets distracted, you gently bring it back to now. This is the practice of presence. This is maturity. Presence is a lifetime journey. No one becomes a master in one day, but you can become 5% better every day. And this 5% improvement changes your life in such a way that you yourself feel surprising. Anyway, the most beautiful things in life happen in the present moment. We ignore them because our mind is traveling elsewhere. Presence brings back that lost beauty. It teaches us that the joy of life lies not in speed, but in depth, in connection, in attention. Finally, Busacker says that presence is the greatest gift you can give to someone, and it is the most powerful gift you can give yourself. When you are present, every moment starts feeling precious. And when every moment feels precious, life becomes a blessing. Life becomes easier only when we know which direction to go in. But the real problem is that most people pay attention to speed, not direction. They are walking fast, working hard, staying busy. But if someone asks, "Where are you going?" the answer is unclear. Busacker says that the most powerful way to make life meaningful and purposeful is making your values your compass. Values are the things that are most important to us, on which our character, decisions, and the entire quality of life depend. But the sad thing is that many people don't even know their values. They are just running on others' expectations. Therefore, the author says that when a person identifies their values, their life fills with clarity, direction, and courage. Values are the GPS of our life. Just as GPS tells you which path to take, which turn to make, which route to avoid, similarly, values tell us which decision is right, which work is meaningful, and which things are worth our time and energy. Without values, decisions are filled with confusion. We keep doubting every small thing. Should I do this or that? But if values are clear, the decision is instantly known. Because compasses don't hesitate, they show direction immediately. Busker says that in modern life, the biggest problem is not that people have less time, but that their decisions are random. Life is full of choices everywhere: career, relationships, habits, priorities, commitments. But without values, these choices also keep us wandering around. Values make decisions intentional. They tell us what to say yes to and what to say no to boldly. Values give clarity about the principles on which life should run. The author says that identifying values is not a philosophical exercise, it is a practical need. When you know what your top 5 values are, like honesty, growth, health, freedom, family, compassion, creativity, discipline, life becomes 10 times easier because you can check every decision against these values. For example, suppose one of your values is health. Then before making any decision, you can ask, will this decision support my health? If the answer is no, the decision becomes automatically clear. If your value is family, then you won't overwork because your compass is telling you that spending time at home is also important. If your value is integrity or honesty, then you won't take shortcuts in any situation, no matter how tempting it is. If your value is creativity, then you won't let yourself get trapped in boring work. Values are not something you just write down and forget. Values are things that shape your choices. Busker explains that value clarity also gives emotional stability. When you follow your values, there is a kind of peace inside. You don't feel guilt, you don't feel doubt, you don't feel confusion. You know you made the decision that is best according to your principles. This inner alignment is the biggest source of happiness. But if you make decisions against your values, conflict arises inside, even if everything looks fine on the outside. For example, a person is earning money, achieving success, but their values are family and relationships, and they're not giving them time, then even if they appear successful from the outside, they will feel disconnected from the inside. Value alignment gives true fulfillment. Busker suggests some reflective exercises to identify values that help readers look deep within themselves. For example, one exercise is, recall the 3 happiest moments of your life and see which values were active behind those moments. For instance, if you felt the most happiness when you helped someone, then service or compassion could be your core value. If you feel most alive when you learn something new, then your value is growth. If you feel peace while walking in nature, your value could be harmony or simplicity. Another exercise is, recall your worst moments where you felt discomfort, anger, or sadness. Values are hidden there too. For example, if you saw someone lying and felt very bad, then your value is truth. If someone didn't respect you and you felt hurt, then your value is respect. Values are the things that touch us deeply or hurt us deeply. The author says that values are a kind of personal redefinition. When we get clarity about who we are and what truly matters, then we don't succumb to the pressures of the world. Trends will keep changing, people will keep changing opinions, society's expectations will keep changing, but your values give you a stable inner identity. Values also help in designing the future. When you are at a crossroads in life and don't know what to do next, career change, relationship decisions, life goals, values act as a guiding light. Take an example. If your value is passion, then you will probably choose a job that has enthusiasm, creativity. If your value is stability, then you will choose a field that is predictable and secure. If your value is adventure, then you will choose a path that has challenges, learning, excitement. The author says that using values as a compass means aligning your actions with your principles every day. This alignment is visible in small daily choices too, like, should I work out today or skip it? The health value will give the answer. Should I be honest in this task or take a shortcut? The integrity value will decide. Should I make time for someone today or pretend to be busy? The love or family value will give the answer. When our life becomes value-driven, we stop depending on people's approval, because now we know ourselves that our actions are right for us. Values give confidence, because when a person acts on principles, they don't doubt. Values also create boundaries. Boundaries are limits that protect our energy. If your value is self-respect, then if anyone hurts your dignity, you will immediately set a boundary. If your value is mental peace, then you will stay away from unnecessary drama. Values make boundaries natural because going against values feels impossible. Values also give courage. Many decisions are difficult: leaving a job, creating distance from toxic people, choosing the right path, prioritizing your own happiness. But when your values are clear, courage comes automatically, because values remind you, what kind of life do you want? Busker says that once values are clear, life doesn't remain complicated. It becomes simple. Because now you don't chase things that impress others. You chase the things that satisfy your soul. Values don't just organize life, they make it meaningful. Finally, values as compass means that every step of your life, every choice, every plan stands on a foundation that remains stable even in a changing world. Values show you direction even in a storm. When life becomes uncertain, responsibilities increase, or confusion increases, then values are the only thing that keeps you centered. Values are your identity, your inner truth, the most authentic part of your personality. And when a person lives with their values, purpose, peace, clarity, and fulfillment automatically come into their life. So friends, that was our book for today. Please tell us in the comments how you liked the summary, and thank you for listening to the summary till the end.